Across the whole of Chalke Valley, you get no or very little phone coverage. Being in quite a remote area just outside of Salisbury, this can cause problems for residents as quick communication is not quite so. Last year, a group of people from the valley went about setting up their own coverage provider, as there was nothing the major phone companies could do.
Just over half of the Chalke Valley has superfast broadband. The big problem here is it's a long community spread out over a wide area. And the current BT technology will give you really good superfast broadband up to a range of about a mile or just under a mile. Above that, the speed drops off extremely quickly.
James says these kinds of projects take a long time to plan, but the Chalke Mobile team have made a positive step forward since the beginning.
We've been going now for just over a year, but we've now reached the stage where we can actually start deploying our first cells. So we're running the whole thing as a community interest company. So the whole of this mobile network will be owned by the community.
Provider cells will be placed on the chimneys of buildings throughout the valley to provide equal coverage for everyone there. And one resident believes that Chalke Mobile will be an important asset to the area.
Well, the advantage of something like Chalke Mobile, I think there's several advantages. One of which is that we do have very dire broadband capability at the moment. And I think we think nowadays of broadband as being a utility in the same way that water, electricity is thought of, that's something that is just there and you can use. So I think Chalke Mobile is a good opportunity to actually provide this capability, starting with the Chalke Valley at a reasonable cost and an interesting sort of technical exercise as well.
On Friday night, Chalke Valley will play host to a number of locally important people, like MP John Glenn, as they outline their plans for Chalke Mobile. But James is still letting people know why these plans are taking place.
You're probably thinking, why do I need mobile? Because I'm pretty senior now. But these days, mobile and communications is not a nice to have, it's really essential, I think.
Some of the residents here find the lack of phone signal a problem for their own health and safety.
I think it's important that there's mobile coverage so that people who need trackers can use them in the village environment, because at the moment they only work up on the hills.
Because I've got a little one, you see, which is years old, and I've just about got a signal indoors now, but it's very difficult. I can't get one in here.
The cells will be placed throughout the valley in order to improve the lives of its residents and provide new opportunities for them.
It's going to be a total game changer. These days, broadband is not a nice to have, it's an essential. And whilst the government have been trying extremely hard to improve things, there are always little islands of not spot, like the Chalke Valley, where it is difficult to deploy bits and pieces. And so as far as we're concerned, the only coverage figure that's worth talking about is 100%.
It's exciting times in Chalke Valley, with these new coverage providers aiming to make the lives easier for the people of the valley. Jack Deary, That's TV.